What's going on, guys? It is your boy TKD1D here, back again with another video. Of course, here we are back every Wednesday with Road to Part 2, the weekly news series. Not news series, I keep saying news series every freaking episode. The weekly show about all things Last of Us and Last of Us Part 2 with my luxurious co-host, the Starks.
Hello.
How you doing today?
How are you?
I'm good.
That's good.
If you all are hearing a echo on my voice, that may be because my room is a bit empty right now. I am in the process of moving to a different room in my apartment. That's cool. I got a new desk. Setting that up should be nice, you know. There's just cable
You're
management.
gonna do a room tour?
You know what? Perhaps I might.
You should. Content, right?
Maybe not. We'll see. I don't know. But yeah, it's not that like moving the stuff is the issue. It's purely the cable management is going to be an issue. You know, it's a very, very big endeavor. I got a lot of tech on my desk, so I'll be working on that after I make some videos after this, so that way you guys aren't left out of content while I'm moving. That should be fun. But that's not the topic at hand here. Of course, Last of Us. Again, it's been pretty quiet these past few weeks involving Last of Us. Naughty Dog again, it's been pretty not talking a lot. So we're kind of just going over something that I feel is definitely going to be an important part of Part 2. And you have some speculation that it goes much deeper than Part 2, I believe, what you were telling me before we even started recording. But definitely a big conversation here. We have seen this particular group in two different trailers. We are going to be referencing. There we go. I can speak. The Paris Games Week trailer from 2017, I believe, is when this trailer came out, and then also the E3 2018 gameplay trailer. The last we heard of Last of Us from an official standpoint. In terms of a trailer, that E3 gameplay demo that's 8 minutes long. Everyone knows it. It's a great demo. But we are talking about the Sepharites. I will also be referencing the official fandom wiki on the Sepharites. They are rumored to be the main antagonists of Last of Us Part 2, the main group, I believe, like similar to the form where the first game had the Fireflies, you know what I'm saying? But now we have the Sepharites, which seem a lot worse than the Fireflies.
Way worse.
Right? Okay.
And I think, well, we can get into it in a bit. Did you just, want me to mention what I was going to say?
Yeah.
Well, the reason why I think that is because they have religious tendencies, more religious principles in mind, or I guess maybe not religious but cult-like.
Yeah.
And let's be real here. I'd rather go with a group like the Fireflies, who yes were violent and I guess a little bit poetic, but they had a goal in mind. They had sayings that they lived up to, and I guess they had some kind of morals, and the Seraphites seem to have the same thing, but the difference is they have more religious, like I said, tendency, more religious aspects to them, which make them a little bit more scarier, because a lot of, not to generalize, but as a practicing religious person myself, sort of, I can definitely say that there are some crazy religious people. And this is what the Seraphites seem to embody, that kind of crazy, like, we're going to do it our way or get the hell out of our land kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. Like a bit extremist one might say. Yeah. And like, I would even wager that, from a certain perspective, really, the Fireflies in the original Last of Us, like, they weren't even really that bad. I would say, like, they really were just trying to do R&D and try to cure this infection. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if I was a Firefly in that position and I heard of a girl that was immune, right? Like, I would want to obviously take her, do some tests, and if that means that, we will have to unfortunately sacrifice this young girl for the betterment of the world, I could easily see that being a thing that needed to be done. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why, like, I never really felt that, like, the Fireflies were really all that bad, because the only bad aspect you'll get from that is that they went against what Joel wanted, which of course was to keep Ellie alive, and that's what happening at the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? So from the lens of Joel, that's really where we have the like negative view of the Fireflies, from that perspective. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
there definitely is an episode that we have planned sometime in the future about Joel, a debate that we both want to have really bad. That is that.
Oh yeah, I thought we had that debate.
I'm looking through. No, like I don't think we did. We did. Where is Joel? We did. Yeah, but we haven't done that episode yet, and that one is like, is Joel the antagonist of Last of Us, which is a great conversation. I'll tell you what. That's a really totally. So we will expect that later on. But topic at hand here, Sepharites, and I think the closest thing we got to the Sepharites in Last of Us was the infamous snow level with Ellie, and that whole really weird cult type, well, not like cult type group, but like that like group of like wanderers that were in the snow, that they were essentially, what's the word I'm looking for, they ate people. What's the word?
Cannibalism.
Thank you cannibalism. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like that was probably like the closest thing we got to the level of violence that the Sepharites have, but the Sepharites seem to be on a whole different level.
And like in terms of like a whole different level, we have some service level info about the Sepharites. This is courtesy of course, the fandom wiki. And also, if you are hearing this, obviously in the episode, you may hear a slight echo, at least in my room. I am currently moving, so bear with me with that echo. You know what I'm saying? I hope it's not that bad. Does it sound that bad, Starks? No, it's all right. It's okay. It's like, it's manageable. All right, I am. So, I mean, I guess first impression, I'll just get from you, Starks, is that when we first saw the Sepharites, which were in the Paris Games Week trailer for 2017, like, what were your knee-jerk thoughts and reactions about the Sepharites? You know what I'm saying?
So I remember this day very, very well, because I was in high school at the time. It was lunch, and I went on my subscription box on my phone, and my whole body dropped to the ground, because I was I was amazed by the fact that Naughty Dog had posted an update on The Last of Us, and then eventually I came time to watching it, and I'm like, what the hell am I watching right now? Like, it just did not seem like a Naughty Dog game, because it was just vastly different from what we've seen previously in terms of I guess coloring, lighting, characters, and just the intensity that the clip showed. And then I was like, who is this weird group of people attacking this poor woman and these two kids? Or, I mean, they look like kids. I guess they're teens or young adults or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And then I guess I waited for other people to have their own reactions, like different YouTubers. And then finally enough, I some people did analysis videos, and then I kind of learned a little bit more about the Seraphites. But initially I was just very confused, but excited at the same time.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. With me, I thought they were still Fireflies. So I was like, man, like, I guess the Fireflies, like, at first were like this like guerrilla warfare-esque type of like, really just not organized group that, were just who they were, whatever. And I thought that that, like, I mean, I guess we could talk about this later on in the episode, but I thought for a moment there that the Fireflies were like a branch of the Sepharites and like were born out of the Sepharites, but I don't think that's true anymore, unless, I mean, maybe it might be. Who knows what'll happen in part 2 and how they'll explain how we didn't see the Sepharites in The Last of Us. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe like they were from a different, or maybe do they come out of the events of Last of Us? Like, maybe, who knows really, but we do have, courtesy of course, link below in the description, the fandom wiki page, where we have some info about the Sepharites. So I say I'll just read it there. They have an overview of the trailer. I won't read that. I'll just read their beliefs and practices. So this is from the, of course, wiki link in the description. Members of the Sepharites practice a form of ritualistic sacrifice. They hang their sacrifices by the neck and disembowel them, believing that they are, quote, nested with sin. The phrase clip their wings also has particular significance to the members of the cult, as it is used when in the presence of non-members whom they wish to harm. Some Sephirite members appear to have specific labels for some of their enemies, such as wolf for people like Ellie, demons for the infected, and apostates for defectors. When out in the field, they use specific whistling techniques to communicate over long distances. All members of these Sepharites share certain characteristics. For instance, all male members have a clean-shaven face and head, while all female members wear their hair in the same braided crown style. Also, all members have Glasgow Smile. Don't know what that is. I don't know what Glasgow Smile scars are. Yeah, they just let me know about that. But they have those scars on their cheeks. Regarding to their attire, both men and women wear dark pants, black shoes, and dark trench coats that feature hoods. And so I think, just to like kind of just start off, like one of the biggest they are interesting, this group, is definitely the way they used whistling, because I did notice that. I think it's when they're walking with the random woman that we believe is Ellie's mother in Paris Games 2 trailer. I think when they were walking up towards the fire pit is where they were using those whistles, I believe. Or it could be when they were. Yeah, I think they were using
They were about to cut open this woman, and then in comes a whistle, which is also present in the E3 demo in 2018.
Right.
I searched up Glasgow Smile, and it doesn't give me anything regarding symbolism, but it does say a Glasgow Smile is a wound caused by making a cut from the corners of a victim's mouth up to the ears, leaving a scar in the shape of a smile. The act is usually performed with a utility knife or a piece of broken glass, leaving a scar which causes the victim to appear to be smiling broadly. Now, obviously, that's supposed to symbolize something, so maybe.
Wait, so
sorry?
So that's like Joker style, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
gotcha.
Like
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I see. What?
And I
Interesting.
guess it's to appear. I don't know why anyone would want that, but I guess because it's at the end it says to appear to be smiling broadly.
Wow.
So I don't know if that's supposed to be like a positive thing or like.
I don't know, but
I don't know what that symbolizes.
That is odd because according to the wiki, it's not like their enemies have it. All the members of the Sepharites have that,
right?
Which is quite interesting. But I want to talk a little bit about nested with sin, right? Because initially, when you read that, when you see the Paris Games 2 trailer, we are led to believe with the assumption that the woman in the Paris Games, and again, there's a whole dedicated video that we did to that woman. Check out the playlist. Or check out our other podcast. I've really forgot what episode it was, but it was definitely recently. We did the episode on this mysterious woman in the Paris Games 2 trailer. Spoiler alert, we both think it's Ellie's mom. So I'll refer to her as that in this video. Again, it's not confirmed. It's all speculation. This is just our educated guess at the moment, right? So at least with me, right? I thought for some reason they did this with every pregnant lady, right? And it's pretty safe to say that I think the woman in the Paris Games 2 trailer is pregnant just based off of why they would want to cut her stomach specifically, right? But then again, we see later in The Last of Us Part 2 E3 2018 gameplay trailer, the Seraphites there, which we haven't even brought up that whole segment yet, where they're in that gameplay trailer as well. They still do that same technique of cutting the intestines and the organs. Wait, there's a phrase in the wiki. Oh, they disembowel them. Yeah, disembowel. So they are seen disemboweling a man in that trailer, right?
Right.
But I think specifically the phrase "nested with sin" is interesting. Phone, I need you to be quiet. It's too early for you right now. They specifically use nested with sin, I think, in a very specific way, right?
And I think it's to imply that you aren't a part of us, so you are nested. So I think this cult. Now I have a couple of things written down as different speculation. One, which is very crazy, which is going to sound really stupid, but I'm going to mention it after I explain this.
I have one as well, but go ahead. Wait, are we talking about the phrase that you're with sin, like you're nested with sin?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that in a sec, but
Okay.
but I also have different speculation about the Seraphites. But essentially, I think how this cult operates is, and I think I mentioned this earlier in the recording, is that this is a group where its belief is if you are not with us, you're against us,
Right.
and if you do not practice our tradition and our cult-like ideas, you will be terminated. You will die. And I guess this is I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Midsummer. Or
No.
Midsommar. Crazy movie. I didn't really. It was a cool movie, but it's the same idea where it's like a cult, and essentially, if you don't agree with their stuff, you're gone, right? And so I guess this is the same idea. Now, the term nested with sin is interesting because the Fireflies. So one of my speculation is this is a Firefly progressed group, because I found like it copies a lot of the same symbolism and a lot of the quotes, like not directly, but there's a lot of Firefly quotes in the first game,
Right.
that kind of embody the same cult-like hope. So maybe this cult has taken inspiration from the Fireflies, or people from the Fireflies have joined the group, or there's some kind. I think there has to be some kind of link, because in the first 2016 I guess little teaser that we got, we saw a Firefly logo and it was written on a stop sign. And this film is, or sorry, not film, this game is around hate, and we've never seen the Seraphites before. So I think for Naughty Dog to show and emphasize the Seraphites as much as they have in part 2, I find that there has to be some link. Otherwise I just don't understand Naughty Dog's intentions.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you that, like, in some way, form, or I mean, well, because here's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could see either way, honestly. Like, I could see the Seraphites just being from a different part of the country, like maybe because I don't believe we explored the northwest region of the United States, so that would take into account like Seattle and like the Montana area, maybe like Northern California type vibes, you know what I'm saying? And one can make the effort that, in the Paris Against Me trailer, like those that like woodsy area, it looked just like a regular woods area that you might see somewhere in Seattle, or it could be the redwood forest in California, you know what I'm saying? So like I could see that, but I feel like you're more on track with the truth, where I feel like there definitely is going to be some sort of connection between the Sepharites and the Fireflies.
If you look at the E3 2018,
right?
There's also a sign, and I think I mentioned this in a previous episode, where it says "May she guide you," and that's almost like something that the Fireflies had, where find the light, and or the Fireflies had all sorts of different quotes and sayings. I haven't played the game recently, so I my memory is not the greatest regarding the Fireflies, but
speaking of
different.
Speaking of, I saw you were very upset about the servers being done yesterday.
Oh,
very upset.
Yeah, that was crazy that they didn't even realize, because I messaged a quality assurance guy on Discord, and he's like, they didn't even know.
Wow.
And then obviously I messaged Anthony Newman, and he's like, okay, we're gonna look into it.
You mentioned someone else that used to work at IGN that I knew. I'm forgetting his name right now. Oh my god.
Used to work for IGN.
Scott Lowe.
Oh yeah. Scott Lowe. Yeah, he replied. Yeah.
Very, very good guy. But you may proceed.
Yeah,
sir.
He seems cool. But I actually kind of want to go to a couple of my speculation as well. But
what
I'm trying to say is a lot of the symbolism and a lot of the quotes kind of seem like they're inspired either from each other, or this cult has been inspired by
the Fireflies.
The Fireflies.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
One of my crazy and probably stupid sounding speculation. Can you guess what it is?
Dude, I don't even, bro. I want you to just,
so
because I know you told me you had something crazy, right?
It's not even crazy. Like, it's not even possible. Like, it's so stupid.
Because I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna try and guess it. I just want to hear what it is. Like, I want to be open to it completely.
So I'll spell it out. So the Seraphites are MUA. Oh, hold on. Oh, shoot. Please. Okay, because I wrote it wrong. Okay, they are MUTATEDCLICKERS.
Mutated clickers?
That's what I'm saying. It just sounds so stupid. But imagine,
Interesting.
imagine after the motor stage, they go back into their little, I don't know, human, I don't know, body instrument, whatever, and then they adopt these crazy beliefs and stuff. No, I'm joking.
Very
That was just my.
interesting.
I know it sounds stupid,
Very,
but
very interesting. Honestly, that's the plot of part 2, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here
I
first.
have one more regarding the Seraphites, and I know we mentioned this quite a lot in the 2017 demo with, you know, presumably Ellie's mom, and I don't think the Seraphites are a present. I think the Seraphites are a present threat and did not exist during the first game. And I know you mentioned how, well, it's the different side of the country, and while that might be true, I didn't watch the video, but a person made a video about how Neil Druckmann might be able to align the stories for the Seraph, or how can he write the Seraphites into part 2,
Right.
and I think the only way is introducing this group as a newly founded group, or a stemmed off of another group, like something like the Fireflies. Because
go ahead.
Pardon?
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
Because
sorry.
I don't know if what we're seeing, like I know a lot of people say, well, that might be the past, where the 2017 demo where we see, you know, you're nested with sin, yada yada yada, and Ellie's mom and all that. But I don't want to believe that that's the past. I don't think that's true, and it sounds crazy, but I don't think so, because I don't believe that this Seraphites group would have been able to survive long, or I wouldn't say survive long enough, but flourish so throughout all those years and not at least be destroyed. Or maybe it is a possibility, and maybe this Seraphites group is a very large group of people, and they've kind of, I guess, manifest itself into this larger threat for part 2. But I don't know, that's just my thought.
I mean, I can easily see the Sepharites either being there the whole time or just being a different part of the U.S. that we didn't get to explore in Last of Us. You know what I'm saying? Oh wait, my thought. Oh wait a minute. The Sepharites are from Florida. Have you heard stories about Florida, Starks? Florida, of course, is the states in the good old United States where I live. I know you live in
Good
Canada.
old.
You know
Good.
what I'm saying?
I wouldn't say good. No, I'm joking.
The good old
what's
U.S.
the stuff
of
about
A.
Florida?
So there's an ongoing joke, right, in the States that, like, crazy people and the craziest things you'll ever read on the news happen in Florida. Yes, like, all you gotta do is look up Florida man. Just Google on your spare time. Google Florida man, and you will see the most outlandish, crazy, real stories that happen in Florida. Right. So if anything, the Sepharites are probably from Florida. That's just a little joke, but I think they definitely are. Yeah, I mean, probably from Florida, but I feel like they definitely could be from somewhere, like we said before, like Seattle, you know, or like North California, Seattle, Montana, whatever, that type of northwestern region. But specifically, I want to talk about nested with sin, right? I don't think they use this phrase in the gameplay segment that we got in 2018, right? I'm pretty sure it was just.
They do. I think when he's about to kill the guy, he says, "You are nested with sin. Breathe in, so that they may know." And I think he says offering. So, and because even in the 2017 demo, she says, "Breathe in, so that they may know," and then she says, "My," and then she's cut off. So I think what they do is they feed the clickers.
Yeah.
They nurture the clickers. They're crazy. They believe. You know what it is. I got it figured out. I figured it out, because I think this is the same. Oh, it's gonna be the same thing as the
Rippers from Days Gone. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I'm like, yeah, like
same idea. Same idea, dude.
I'm like, yeah, like there's like definitely linear lines that you can put between,
yeah,
you know, the Rippers and
oh wait, sorry, somebody actually on Reddit said oh shoot, oh god, it says they are nested with sin, free them that they may know. I thought it was
free them that they may know.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
well,
free them
my thing with nested with sin, right, is that I think that when they say nested with sin, right, I think they're talking about a person being infected but not turned yet. And here's my line of thinking on that, right? So here's my line of thinking, right? So
you might be right.
So if we're led to believe, well, okay, so wait, let's go with the easy one here. The man in the gameplay trailer, clearly he could have been infected. We wouldn't have known, and maybe that's why they were killing him, right? To sacrifice himself to the clickers to feed him, whatever, stuff like that, right? That could be easily explained. But I feel like with the Paris Games Week trailer, it's so specifically this woman, which we presume is Ellie's mother. We presume she's pregnant with Ellie at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So here is my thought process, right? What if maybe a day or two before we see that trailer, right? It has been established that the homegirl is already pregnant, right? Like she is pregnant, she's having a kid, right? But maybe Ellie's mother in that trailer, before she gets to this point, gets bitten, but then doesn't turn. Because she might, like what if she passed on that trait genetically to Ellie when she was born, of not being able to be infected, right? And so maybe the Sepharites in their twisted minds think that, all right, this chick just got bit, but she's not turning yet, you know, or maybe she just got bit and they're taking her right now to go feed her to the clickers or whatever, stuff like that. But maybe I'm thinking like they take nested with sin a bit literally, as like my second thought, you know, maybe
that's a good theory.
Yeah, maybe they think that the sin that she's nested with, like physically, like maybe they think that she's giving birth to like an infected.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and like that's what they mean by like nested with sin, and they want to, you know, essentially kill the baby, you know, in that very gruesome fashion. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
That was just like my thought. I don't like that. Okay, I think maybe some of that seems a bit far fetched. But perhaps
no, I think that's actually a good reasoning, because I think my philosophy about it is, this is a cult, this is a brutal cult, but if we roll back the tapes back to an interview with Neil Druckmann, at some point he mentions how, well, they're perceived as a bad group of people. So perhaps their concept, their line of belief is, if there's an indication that you are pregnant, or perhaps you're sick, or whatever the case may be,
right,
or bitten, your body, your life will be sacrificed for the better good of our existence, our
cause,
for us to live. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you see that in a lot of different mediums. I don't know what I can specifically point to, but I would say that this is definitely a better reasoning than what I was saying about anything about mutation and all that stuff. But yeah, no, I definitely think the Seraph, because if we line up what Neil Druckmann said about, you know, this group is perceived as bad, maybe Ellie and their people said, well, why would you sacrifice people that might live, you know, because they're sick, or because they're bitten or whatever, right? So yeah.
I think it's really interesting how he said, like, specifically that they are perceived as bad, you know.
Well, I
that
mean,
they,
you look
like,
at stuff like The Walking Dead, like Negan. There's a point where Negan takes revenge on Rick's group in The Walking Dead, and to be honest, I kind of agree with Negan. It's like, well, Rick's group killed a bunch of his men, so he's just returning the favor. But anyways, yeah, that's the same idea of what's perceived. Yeah.
Very interesting.
I'm trying to look at the two images of, like, at some point in the Paris Games Week trailer, you see two men hung. I want to see if I'm trying to see their body, if they're infected, but I don't see any. I mean, they look pretty dead. They look like they were sweating, but that's probably because they're dead and they were probably scared shitless that they were.
They look a bit dead, I tell you. But I'm trying to think, because there's. I just find the Sepharites very interesting, at least to me. I find them very, and the clip their wings sing is so gruesome, bro. Oh my god, jeez, man. Like, shout out, that looked like it hurt for real. Yeah, that's a very interesting technique, like literally clipping their wing. Like that's wild. So I guess we can lead into a conversation here. with some of the terminology. Obviously, we have apostates for like defectors. And do we think that, actually, before we even get to that, do we think Lev and Yara, the two young people in the Paris Games Week trailer, are they Sepharites too? And are they?
Yeah. Or will their ex Sepharites? They wanted to leave for some reason. And I think, and this is gonna sound like very crazy, but I think it's fair to say so. As we know, or at least I guess I don't know if it's been implied, but the person who plays Lev, Ian Alexander, is a transgender male, which means I suppose he was a female. He transitioned. I'm trying to say this as respectfully as I can.
Absolutely.
But and in the game, I mean, I wouldn't name my son Lev if I had a son, because Lev sounds, I mean, maybe it's short for something. Maybe it's short for something. But the point is what I'm trying to say here is, I think it wasn't accidental for Neil and the Naughty Dog team to hire a transgender person to play a person named Lev. However, Lev in the game is bald, and all the men in The Last of Us Part 2 are bald. So perhaps Lev is in the game is actually a female, but is mistaken as a male, or something in between those lines. I think it's safe to say, because I mean, I don't think Lev is a male, like, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
so I think the reason why they left is because this group is more traditional. It's more like, we don't want sex, we don't want certain things.
Yeah.
Because this is obviously some kind of religious cult. So
yeah,
and they typically don't want that, right?
It also does say that all male members have clean shaven face and head. So all the male members are bald.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So by that, I mean, like, do you think Lev in the game is like, do you think, because I think that's what we're seeing here is Lev and Yara, who are siblings, right?
I believe. Wait, let me.
I don't know if they're siblings or they're love interests or what. Like, I don't know what they are, but
I
think the reason why they're leaving is because this not only is this group crazy, but they're not respecting. Hold on, let me see Lev.
So
Lev
Yara. So Yara is
older sister,
and that she is Lev's older sister. Yeah, so Yara is Lev's older sister. So Lev is the younger one. Yara is the older.
So maybe I'm wrong here, because on the description here, it's obviously voiced and mocap by, like I said, Ian Alexander. However, the description is gender as a male. So perhaps I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know. The name Lev is kind of strange for a male, I guess, but I guess it could work.
Right. I see. I'm sure we'll know, obviously. I'm sure we'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. But definitely interesting from that standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Right. Now, in the E3 2018 gameplay trailer, they mentioned that Ellie is a wolf. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
Well,
tell me, sir. Tell me. What do you think about that?
Well, sir.
Yes.
It's already been foreshadowed that there will be some kind of dog mocapping as, I assume, a dog, but it could be a wolf. Now I searched up here. Let me search up the symbolism of wolf here. Symbolism of wolf. Okay. And when you search for the symbolism, because I've done this for giraffe, it was also present in Detroit Become Human as well as The Last of Us, and giraffe symbolizes independence and identity, which relates directly to The Last of Us and Ellie, as well as Detroit Become Human, because that's what the game's about. It's about identity, and you know what I mean, and individualism. But anyways, wolf is a symbol of guardianship, ritual, loyalty, and spirit. Wolf has the ability to make quick and firm emotional attachments and often need to trust their own instincts. They teach us obviously they're talking about wolves specifically, but they teach us to do the same, to trust our hearts and minds and have control over our own lives. So this is probably figuratively and physically a title that they name Ellie as such, because maybe maybe they're gonna pull off some kind of John Wick thing where she has like a dog or a wolf as a pet, and then they kill it, and then they name her as the wolf or something. Because obviously we know wolves are there's some kind of emphasis on the idea of wolves, right? Because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
saw it in the Outbreak Day poster with the hammer. Ellie is called Wolf, and we also saw a dog in a mocap suit, right? So obviously they're not going to use a wolf for a mocap suit. So maybe the dog is playing as a wolf, and maybe I really don't know why they would call
Yeah.
her Wolf.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you seem to be taking it like a literal approach, which I didn't even fathom, which I like, right? I thought they were specifically telling Ellie, like, well, not telling her, but like warning the other members of the group around them when Ellie started attacking that Ellie was a wolf, right? And I think maybe that might just be like service level, and maybe like we're thinking too deep on that factor.
Yeah, maybe.
But I don't think we are.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I mean, maybe we aren't. I don't know, because
I mean, maybe they call all of their opponents or
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe they call Joel Bear. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? Maybe they use that to describe. Maybe because obviously a wolf and a bear are things that you kill. If you cannot have a relationship with the wolf and a bear without being killed. I mean, maybe a wolf, but a bear, that would rip you apart, right? So maybe they use these terms to indicate that there's a bad guy in our territory. There's a armed
threat is around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And as we know, before Ellie chops off that guy's head in the E3 2018 demo, he says, "This is sacrifice land," or so, I thought he said lamb, but I don't think he said this is sacrifice lamb. I think he said this is sacrifice land.
Is he repeating the same thing that they tell people when they're about to be sacrificed? Is that what he's repeating to himself?
I'm not too sure. Well, I think the reason why he said that is because he knew he was dead.
Well, yeah, absolutely, yeah. But you know how they have that phrase when they're doing the ritual for people to feed the clickers and stuff like that. Like, is that what he's doing for himself? Like, is he like repeating that because he knows that he's going to die, and
probably
he views it as like another means of him being sacrificed to the infected. You know what I'm saying?
Probably that could. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I don't know.
See that.
But like, I think they just use the term wolf as like someone as an armed enemy,
right?
Maybe, you know what I'm saying, or it could be deeper. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, or maybe they shorten the term lone wolf as just wolf.
Yeah.
So it's one person. Like if it's one.
Yeah,
enemy,
that's what I mean. Yeah. That's
maybe
I mentioned that before. Yeah.
Yeah, or like maybe they like call it like a pack if it's like a group of people. You know what I'm saying? Perhaps.
Right.
Yeah. Very, very interesting.
So he says, "Oh no!" So what he said is, before he died, he says, "This is sacrifice land."
This is sacrifice land, like
land.
This is
sacrifice land. So I think what it also might be is like a Negan vibe where they say, or sorry, not Negan, a Whisperer's vibe. If you watch The Walking Dead, you'll know what I'm talking about. But essentially, they mark their land.
Yeah.
And once you cross that land, you are free bait for us to fucking rape, kill, do whatever we want. Right.
Yeah. That seems plausible.
Yeah.
That seems definitely. Yeah, and like maybe like he was telling her like, "Yo, like you did this. Like you're the one that went into our land." Or something like that. Our sacrifice land. You know what I'm saying? Like that could definitely that could there's a lot of different things about Sepharites. You know what I'm saying? I think they're gonna be really cool. I think we got a taste of this type of group and this type of enemy with Days Gone, with the Rippers, which I thought the Rippers, I wish they went into a little more depth with them. You know what I'm saying? And like I wish I think you got I remember. Did you get to the halfway point in Days Gone?
Yes, I did. So they're done for? Then we're never gonna see them again? The Rippers?
So upon me beating the game, I guess spoiler alert for Days Gone. Very, very small, minute detail I'm spoiling, but spoiler alert. Okay, cool. The Rippers do come back onto the map, and like they all didn't get perished by the midway point that I will still not spoil. Just in case, you know what I'm saying. That event happens, right? But it's led to believe like towards the end of the game and like in the end game territory when you finally beat the story of Days Gone, there are still Rippers among the world. You know what I'm saying? They just weren't completely wiped out. you know. So is that that wasn't the last you'll see of them. But
Okay.
I did want them to go deeper into like the Ripper like mentality, even though we got a ton of info when spoiler alert, one more time, I promise. Spoiler alert. When you get captured and go into the Ripper camp and stuff like that, you know, so like they're obviously like right
scary.
there. Yeah, that was such a cool like obviously different game than Last of Us Part 2, but like that felt like an entire like end season finale of like The Walking Dead. I loved that level. But anyway, like I wish we got more info and more like background on the Rippers, you know what I'm saying? But now I feel like we'll like kind of get what we were missing with that with the Sepharites, you know what I'm saying? And I just love like any like creepy, you know, faction or any creepy group. Like they just intrigue me. Like I just think it's just really mad interesting, you know what I'm saying? Because like in their mind, like they think they are right. They think they are just. They think they are, you know, doing what they are called to do in this world. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly. Yeah. True.
Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Very, very. Do you have any last thoughts on the Sepharites?
By the stuff, I hope, like you said, and I think we will. We'll get a clear understanding for when we get a story trailer. But apart from that, I really hope that this could be a very grounded and understanding group. Something like the Fireflies, but adds a lot more to it. And we're obviously going to get that because Naughty Dog loved their details. I think The Last of Us was a testament to how Naughty Dog could storytell. And once they published The Last of Us, they realized that this is something that we can do a little bit more effectively, storytelling in this kind of way. And I think we're definitely 110% going to get a very in-depth, close look at the Seraphites, their group, how they operate. And I think we're going to be playing as more than two characters, which I think has already been confirmed. But I think we're going to play as Ellie, Joel, the lady in the trailer, and then maybe Yara and Lev.
Yeah, they have. Yeah. That has been said. I don't even know. I don't know. The Seraphites just intrigue. Like, if I were to like put my thoughts in like a bow present, you know what I'm saying? I think it's just that like they just intrigue me. I just find them really interesting. I find them really cool. And I just want to know more about them. You know, I hope there's a level kind of like Days Gone where you get captured with the Sepharites. Like that'd be cool. And maybe that's what we saw. Maybe like we saw that at the President, you know, like maybe
she's looking,
yeah, maybe the President 2 trailer is like the end of that mission. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
perhaps I don't know.
True.
We'll see. But I can't wait for it.
Me too.
Give me that. But with that all being said, that has been episode 8 of Road to Part 2. Do you have any last thoughts, Starks? Where can people find you, Starks?
Well, first off, I just want to say if you've came up to this point, thank you for watching. As well as I have a YouTube channel at the Starks /YouTube. I'll probably post a comment so you can probably check out my channel there. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for having me, of course.
Beautiful. And of course, this is PlayStation Source, where you can catch all of our long-form content, including this series, as well as our Cross Circle podcast that goes live every Monday on the channel. You can find both of these on the podcast feed. A Anchor link will be in the description, always is in every video, every piece of content that we have up on the channel. There is a Anchor link down below where you can go and find different links to your favorite podcast service of choice, whether it be Google Play Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc. We are live on all those platforms. If you search up PlayStation Source podcast feed, you can find us there and get the show in audio format only. If you desire with your heart, if you truly desire it, you can go out and get it. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to stay right here, this is youtube.com/PlayStation Source, where you can follow us. And make sure you go down below, check our description as well, where you can find our Twitter and Discord, as well as subscribe to the channel to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Like the video if you enjoyed it. And yeah, I think that's all we got. Until next week, as always,
PlayStation awaits, or greatness awaits, my bad.
The Sepharites await. The Sepharites await.